say let's do it.
Good evening, Vineland High School football fans, and welcome in to Friday Night Lights from Egg Harbor Township. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa on the call for you tonight. And as the Phillies are in the midst of Red October, Rich, we're looking to extend our red and gray October here tonight against Egg Harbor Township, as this game could potentially determine some postseason standings for the Fighting Clan.
Yeah, when we evaluate teams in South Jersey, we go by power points. And this is something that the competition we play as both these teams just on the outside. We're going to quiet down. Here's our national anthem. So as we get ready, as I was saying, you evaluate these teams in a lot of ways when you're playing some of the toughest competition in the state. PowerPoints kind of tell the story. So here's two teams. Egg Harbor in the playoffs has lost 3 in a row and reeling a little bit. And Vineland coming off a good performance with Holy Spirit. Whatever team wins today will be in the playoffs with 1 game to go. And that means you win, you stay in. So very big game for both teams.
Yeah, and as we have a matchup here tonight, both coaches very familiar with one another, as Coach Russo pointed out on the Dan Russo Show this week on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. You guys can go watch that show on the YouTube channel or get it wherever you get your podcasts. And Coach knows, this is a matchup that win, lose, or draw, there's going to be some chirping between these coaches because of their friendship that they have that goes back years and years.
Well, we're getting ready to kick off, and we have a lot to talk about leading up to this, going back even to last year's game, which went all Egg Harbor's way. But this is Egg Harbor. They haven't had a bye yet. This is their 8th straight week, and after a 2-2 start, they've lost their last 3. They played Holy Spirit tough in a 35-14 loss. We lost 50-24. A little bit of a comparison, and we'll address a little more, but it's going to be your Fighting Clan receiving the opening kickoff.
EHT in their blackout uniforms, silver helmets, Vineland in all whites and gray helmets. And we'll see Danny Russo and the Vineland offense on the field first here tonight as we get set for opening kickoff. This ball is sent deep. Not as deep as we'd like to see, but we've got a decent return here in great field position for the Fighting Clan, as that's brought up to about the 45, maybe the 46-yard line by, I believe, Charles Clark.
Well, Vineland got off quick and put a little shock into Holy Spirit last week, getting up 10-0. The offense the last few weeks has been getting better and getting better, despite the fact that they're missing some offensive linemen up front. It was DJ Clark 2 weeks ago getting a few more carries. Russo converted last week 3 third and over 12s for the football team.
Russo hands this one off, and Vineland's going to take it to pretty close to midfield on the carry by Charles Clark.
Boy, and that's what they need Charles to do is, if there's nothing there, move forward, and that line gives a good push, so there's a gain of 3 as compared to a stop for no gain.
And I do have to say, Rich, I missed last week's game. My cousin got married, so it is good to be back here on the broadcast, even in the Eagle's Nest, if you will, as we are doing this broadcast from outdoors tonight here at Egg Harbor Township. But it's good to be back on the mic with you as we get set for second down here for Vineland, and Russo takes the snap. Charles Clark runs into a brick wall of black jerseys with EHT numbers written all over it.
Well, these EHT seniors certainly remember last year it was EHT 36-0 over Vineland. Vineland had 24 yards passing and only 19 yards rushing, 43 total yards, while Egg Harbor compiled 261, most of it through the air with 216-yard passing.
So 3rd and 5 now for Vineland. About 10 and a half to go here in this opening quarter.
Is it time for Mr. Third Down, Danny Russo, the sophomore?
He's looking to pass. He fires. It's complete. But I believe it falls just short of that first down marker to James Hitchens Jr., who has those ever so obvious neon gloves and cleats.
So this is a situation where Vineland's gone for it a lot, but they're sending in the punt team here as they gain some good field position, look to pin the Eagles back deep. Last year it was the Eagles defender Mike Simmons with 3.5 sacks. Yeah, and they had 138 rushing from Rondell Vaughn. You know, it's some new players in position, but the quarterback is back.
There's a gain of 2 on that reception from Hitchens. So it'll be 4th and 3 here on this punt as Greif gets set to boot this one away. Good snap. Ball is sent. Great kick there by Greif. Takes a favorable Vineland bounce, and it's going to roll inside the 5 there, all the way down to maybe the 2-yard line. And Greif sets Vineland's defense up with great field position to cause some havoc towards EHT's end zone.
Well, that's been a weapon for Vineland, the punting game, when they can get it away. So Egg Harbor with their back against the wall. And this is game 3 on the revenge tour that Coach Russo has mentioned often on the podcast. It was first Bridgeton, a 20-0 loss last year, 28-0 win. We're plus 48. Clearview, a 6-point loss, now a 20-point win. That's plus 27. We're plus 75 as we come into this one where Egg Harbor was up 36, plus 36. Vineland looking to turn the 3rd game around.
1st and 10 from the 2 for EHT, and Vineland's defense gobbles up the ball carrier there. Great stuff by the Vineland defensive front.
Well, we're going to be a little less than we normally are without being able to access our rosters or our stats and our notes coming in as we're standing outside with a bunch of fans here in our little, it's not even the crow's nest, we're kind of like in the baby bird nest. We're not quite up top.
Feels like when NBC Sports Philadelphia does their outdoor broadcast out in left field for the Phillies.
I was thinking about that before we came on.
Vineland's defense gets another great stop there on 2nd and 6. That'll bring up 3rd down. And Rich, going back to the punt as well, obviously Gavin Gallo got injured during Vineland's game against Washington Township. According to a source close to the team, I'm told quarterback Danny Russo is taking over the long snapping duties for Vineland, and he's done a great job. Allegedly filled in halfway through last week and is now taking care of the long snapping for Vineland.
Yeah, one of the worst calls I've made this year, I could have sworn it was Gallo in open field, just got his foot stuck in there, but then they were talking more of concussion on the show. So big 3rd down here.
QB scrambling for EHT, getting chased down by a number of Vineland defenders, and that ball is incomplete. James Hitchens Jr.
Well, it looked like Hitchens may have had a chance to get to it, but tripped up by his own player. But Egg Harbor going to have to pump from their end zone.
Bryant Maven also in the area there for Vineland of that incomplete pass. Great defensive stand there for Vineland, though. That's what they need. They need to continue to build confidence with this defense after giving up, some games with a lot of points on the board. You want to build that confidence back up, and no better time to do it than this point in the season.
Yeah, and the passing defense has been hit a little bit. We'll get more into that next time the Eagles have the football. But they've done a good job on that 3rd down, and they've contained the run. So set to get great field position with deep man back at the 40 for Vineland.
High snap. About midfield, Xavier Diaz will take this one up past the 40 and all the way down to about maybe the 38, depending on the spot. But good return there for Xavion Diaz on the punt, and that sets Vineland up with even better field position than they had in their first drive.
For that Vineland offense, it's quarterback sophomore Danny Russo, 44 for 89, 415 yards and 6 touchdowns. Leading the rushing attack again is sophomore Russo with 93 for 390 and 2 scores, with Charles Clark right behind, 47 carries for 150 yards. Real quick, we'll mention Egg Harbor. Their quarterback Christian Rando, 35 for 63, 500 yards passing, so they can throw the football. He's got 6 touchdowns.
Russo lines up in shotgun with Charles Clark right beside him in the backfield. Russo takes the snap. He's going to carry this one himself and try to make something out of nothing, but not a lot of room there for Russo.
Yeah, good job by the Eagles' defensive front as Vineland got a little bit of a push, but then everybody's standing up, no room for Russo to go, just not able to continue driving, so a short gain of about a half a yard. Vineland's rushing attack has averaged 3.5 yards a carry. Their passing attack, 87 passes, averaging 4 yards per attempt. Now, I had a little time this week, and I went back and I went through all the games. Clearview not a part of the NJ.com world where everybody puts their stats up so you can see them. So these are all removed of Clearview where we put up some yards and points.
2nd and 10 here for the Fighting Clan, but we've got whistles and a timeout called by Vineland here.
Well, this would be a great time to thank our sponsors as we have this timeout from Vineland Fighting Clan Football.
With the Red and Gray Gridiron Club, I'd like to thank the following sponsors for their support of the Vineland High School football team. Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Newfield National Bank, Van Dodge, Allen Associates, Technid Consulting, Medio Law Firm, Barufi Brothers, G&S Dry Cleaning, Vineland Education Association, Dr. Michael Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, The Gorgo Group, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Catering, Bettino ShopRite, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Homestead Plumbing, Richland Carpet.
And welcome back. We are set here, 2nd and 10 for the Fighting Clan. DJ Clark in motion. Russo takes the ball himself on the QB keeper and picks up maybe 3 or 4 on that carry to bring up 3rd down.
There's a foul. It's probably going to be on Egg Harbor's 74. Defensive tackle had a nice pancake block and then decided to, oh my God, Eagles defensive lineman Cox, first
Fletcher.
name. Fletcher, I just couldn't go with his last name. Fletcher Cox crawl across the Vineland offensive player, and I think that may be a personal foul as they're going to march it off against the Eagles. A little too aggressive there by 74. We would tell you his name, but as I mentioned, our situation tonight is not the most ideal. And sadly, in an Old Cape rivalry, it's always the case here. The last time I was here with Coach Parentazzi, we got stuck on a roof in horrible weather with no lights on anything. Not like the old days with Art Marinelli as the athletic director, where we were taken care of very well. So a big gain for Vineland puts them right outside the 20 at the 21-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and 10.
And this is where you want to see Vineland's offense capitalize, get early points on the board, build some confidence for the offense to really feel like they can move up and down the field with this EHT defense and really take control of this game.
Well, that EHT defense usually has 5 down linemen, so it is going to be tough to go in the middle, see if Vineland tries to attack an edge, but in this field position, maybe just pound the gut 3 times.
DJ Clark in motion. Russo hands it off to him, but he gets pushed out east and west on that run. He's going to lose a couple on that carry.
Yeah, great containment on the outside and great pressure as that goes for a big loss. That's going to end up being a loss of about 6.
They're going to mark that one 2nd and 15 for the Fighting Clan here. With about 6 minutes and some change clock running to go here in the first quarter. It's 0-0 if you're just joining us, but Vineland here on their second possession on offense as Russo takes a high snap. He's going to carry it himself up the gut, spins his way through. Great pickup there by Danny Russo.
Not sure if there was a flag there or not. The field is a multi-purpose field, and I want to invent something that you hit a button and something goes down and the other colors come up for your field, because lacrosse doesn't want your lines on it. Soccer doesn't want the football lines on it, but it's a little confusing with some of the yellow lines, but no flag on it. Vineland gets back what they lost plus another 4 on the Russo run, so we're at a 3rd and 7.
In the red zone here for the Fighting Clan. Let's take advantage of the opportunity here, boys, and let's put some points on the board.
Maybe close to that field goal range. There is no wind tonight. The flags are just laying limp. 5:10 to go.
Beautiful fall evening here at Egg Harbor Township. Russo in shotgun, takes the snap. He's looking to pass. He's being rushed. He completes it to Tayshawn Newman.
Got to wait for that block. Got to wait for that block. Use him as a screen. Wait for that block. Newman makes a nice job catching the football. But the offensive lineman out there doesn't make a run and kind of just tries to stalk off, and that doesn't give Newman a lane to run to. So a little bit of Newman needing to wait, a little bit of the offense needed to make a move. They both were waiting each other out. So it's going to be 4th from the 23.
Call that about a loss of 2 according to the official scoreboard here. They're marking it 4th and 9 as of right now. And Vineland's offense is staying out on the field.
Yeah, it would be a 37-yard field goal attempt or 36-yard field goal attempt from here, which is a little far, especially not in the middle of the field.
4th and 9 from the 20. Russo takes the snap. He's rolling out, looking to pass. He fires, and it's through the hands of James Hitchens Jr. That's one you gotta have, boys. But unfortunately, it's a turnover on downs here, and EHT will set up shop at their own 20-yard line after the failed 4th down conversion.
A little bit of timing by the offense right here, just a little out of sync, but they still hold great field position. The defense able to make a 3-and-out stop. Now, we didn't get to talk about the rushing attack with Council. He has 485 yards, and he's averaging just under 8 yards a carry. So they like to lean on the running game. Vineland up to the task when they were deep in their own end for the first 2 rushing attempts. But this is something they're going to continue to pound and go out with Council. Probably has the highest yards per carry we faced this year.
This one is bobbled, and it's loose, and Vineland picks up the fumble. So they lose it on the 4th down conversion. A bobbled snap and bobbled handoff leads to Vineland's first turnover of the night. Great awareness by the defense, and that's going to set up Vineland in prime position to punch this one in for 6.
Well, most of the time I tell you we're getting too far up the field, but on that one, having 3 or 4 players up the field gave Egg Harbor nowhere to go, not even able to make the exchange without 3 people in their face. So Vineland's offense quickly back up on the ball with 3:54 to go here in the first quarter.
1st and goal from the 7. Russo moves DJ Clark in motion. He's going to carry it up the gut himself. He's barreling forward, but he's taken down after maybe a pickup of 2, possibly 3, depending on where they end up spotting it.
So with that gain, it's going to get them to the 5. But one thing that was different about the other run plays was that was attacked quickly. They got up the field very quickly on that.
2nd and goal from the 5 now for Vineland. Under 3.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Scoreless game here from Egg Harbor Township.
A big host of EHT student section in front of us, but they've had nothing to cheer about as Vineland looks to go on top.
DJ Clark in motion. Russo running up the gut into the end zone. Said, we're talking about the Fighting Clan, Rich. We're talking about the Fightins. Danny Russo punches it in for 6 and gives Vineland a 6-0 lead.
Wow, great job. They went right back to that quarterback draw, I'll call it, up the middle. And one thing that happens is if it's a sneak or a dive, you have to make blocks up front. On a draw, you can just outside shoulder go weak and have the men flow upfield on the outside, and that really helps that O-line.
Ball spotted, kick is up, and it is good. So with 3:11 remaining here in the first quarter, Vineland takes a 7-0 lead over Egg Harbor Township.
And that's based on field position, off the punt by Greif, sets them up where Egg Harbor can't do anything. Vineland gets a first down and another on a penalty. They can't pop it in, but then the big turnover, and there's a big difference between getting a turnover at the 12-yard line as compared to getting it at your own 25.
Great awareness by the defense to recover the fumble, and that gives Vineland their first lead of the night.
As I mentioned, don't forget last year, this was a 34-0 defeat in one of the doldrums as Vineland hit a flat spot. But we had that doldrum with Kingsway, and they've responded well since. Great job by the coaching staff and the players to get this back together and have this late playoff push. And now they got a little cushion. Everybody needs a little cushion for a pillow. Everybody needs a little cushion.
And Vineland kicks this one away. A bit of a squib kick here. It will be returned by Egg Harbor. And the return man is greeted by Vineland's hit squad, if you will.
Hit squad! When I was coaching, now it's our second team defense was hit squad because they may blow some assignments, but they're going full bore at somebody.
I was a member of the 2008 Vineland High School freshman team hit squad.
That may have been a little hangover from my years of coaching the freshmen. You never know. Now, if you told me you had a tank extra point play, then I know it was me.
So EHT will have the ball at their 44-yard line here. 3:04 to go in the opening quarter. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. They hand this one off. Running back is met from behind us. Number 34 on the carry for EHT. Number 25 on the tackle for Vineland.
So Maven's 8.
Bryant Maven is number 9.
9. 7.
Xavion Diaz.
So Diaz with a helper in there stringing that out. Normally I look down at our sheet, but there are no sheets to be had tonight.
Number 8 is the Swiss Army knife on that defense, Tayshawn Newman. Number 5 on the carry here for EHT. I believe Tayshawn Newman is in there somewhere on that tackle.
So right at midfield, it's going to be 3rd and a long 4 for EHT. It's almost time to take these sunglasses off and go to the I'm old and can't see glasses. Look at that, I'm like Mr. Rogers, switching my sweater and my socks.
Hello, neighbor. 3rd and 4 here for Egg Harbor Township from the 50-yard line. Let's see if Vineland's defense can come up with another stop. And there's a flag. That's going to be encroachment on the defense.
That hasn't happened that often for Vineland this year. They've been pretty disciplined that time, just a little bit of a head start. And of course, it's when they only need 5. So 1st down for the Eagles. The drive stays alive at the Vineland 45 as we're under 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter with the Clan up 7-0, 140 and running. Quarterback under center.
Ball's handed off. Number 34 on the carry for EHT.
Boy, great spot by the far judge. There we go. Because, you know, he had another yard and a half. He had another yard and a half. Yeah, it's hard to manipulate and hold and all. We had another yard and a half, but he gave that ground trying to make a move, and they saw the spot.
So 2nd and 6 here for the Eagles. This will be the one time Rich and I are anti-Eagle this week.
It'll end at the end of this fourth quarter. That's for, I'll be there Sunday night.
And Vineland jumps across the line of scrimmage again.
I don't know about that one. That's right in front of me. It looks like they jumped. I don't know that they encroached on the line, but
I'll make it 2nd and 1 now rather than 2nd and 6.
See if the Eagles try to air this out here because it's basically a free down.
Under a minute to go here in the opening quarter. DB switching sides. And EHT carries this one up the gut.
Interesting call. You know, you've got 2nd and 1. You got a couple downs to do that with your quarterback, and you do it right away. Yeah, that's not a real sign of confidence from Coach Stetzer.
1st and 10 now for the Eagles from the 34. As we're approaching under 30 seconds to go here. This might be the last play of the first quarter. As EHT still huddled up and making their way to the ball. Pass. It's complete to number 2 for the Eagles, who beats a defender, spins away, and James Hitchens Jr. takes him down.
Right at the 15. That's probably the fastest this offense has moved today. And that was full speed out to the outside and just outflanking Vineland. So Egg Harbor's mounted a drive with the help of a penalty to try to even this up, and we're at 3-2-1. That's going to do it for the first quarter.
And Rich, that's a perfect time to send away to a word from our sponsors here from Egg Harbor Township. At the end of the first quarter, Vineland leading 7-0 over Egg Harbor.
With the Red and Gray Gridiron Club, I'd like to thank the following sponsors for their support of the Vineland High School football team. Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Newfield National Bank, Van Dodge, Allen Associates, Technid Consulting, Medio Law Firm, Barufi Brothers, G&S Dry Cleaning, Vineland Education Association, Dr. Michael Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, The Gorgo Group, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Catering, Bettino ShopRite, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Homestead Plumbing, Richland Carpet, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria, and Sir Speedy Printing. The Vineland High School football team and coaches thanks everyone for their support on and off the field, and look forward to another successful season.
First and 10 for the Eagles after 15.
And welcome back in, everybody. Second quarter about to get underway with the Vineland Fighting Clan leading the Egg Harbor Township Eagles 7-0. EHT is threatening. We have a flag on the opening play here in the second quarter.
Egg Harbor is going to give us 5 back for a false start. Looked like right guard got a little bit of a head start on that one. That's going to move them back to the 20.
And I do have to give props right now to EHT's marching band, playing some Chicago 25 or 6-4, an absolute classic. Well done.
And a classic train route if you need to get somewhere. But there's been a lot of Chicago from the bands this year. It's not the first time I've heard that this year.
Well done. It's going to be 1st and 15 from the 20 now for Egg Harbor. Man in motion. This one's handed off to number 34.
Great
Seems
tackle.
to be the primary back of choice tonight for the Eagles.
Great tackle on the inside. Now this really messes with your play calling as you're at 2nd and 13. The big difference in 2nd and 8. You know, so get you out of that comfort zone. And this is a rushing attack team. When your lead back is averaging nearly 8 yards a carry, you know, at 2nd and 13, you may need to do something a little differently.
Number 34, the running back, Rich, Leon Ellis. Looking to pass here are the Eagles to the end zone. And it's caught for a touchdown.
Yeah, gotta find the ball. Decent coverage, but Your head's got to turn. You got to see where that football's going. And just lost a step early and just running after the guy without being able to get your head around.
Christian Rando finds J. Nelly Reyes for the score. And pending the extra point here, as EHT is going to go for 2, but the snap is bobbled. And the 2-point conversion is no good. So with 11:07 remaining here in the second quarter, Vineland still leads 7-6.
Well, they mount a drive to answer your score, but try to take a lead and don't convert, so you still are up a score right now with that offense going to get the ball back. The offense set up with that great field position on the fumble. This time they're probably going to have to do some on their own here, and hopefully they're ready for that. Coach Tucker's offense has been a little more gelled, a little more setting up plays, a little more rhythm and fluidity with it lately. Seems like early in the year we've had one guy not line up right, which messes something up, and they seem to be executing a little better. So this will be a good test for that Fighting Clan offense with 11:07 to go here.
So Vineland still leads 7-6. Vineland's touchdown came via the ground. Ran it in by Danny Russo, who's always a threat to pick up those rushing touchdowns in goal line situations.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights for me, listening and watching, I actually watched on YouTube the Danny Russo show this week, is just the involvement of the sophomores class. Senior class is holding their own, not a problem. But, you know, we have COVID years, people in and out, and what's going on. The sophomore class has really stepped up, over 20 guys participating with it.
Bit of a squib kick here right into the hands of a return man for Vineland. I want to say that was Israel Schwed on the return.
And you would be correct, sir. You are correct. So Schwed gets some great field position at the 45.
And so far in this game, Rich, that has been the story. Vineland's been able to start all 3 of their offensive drives with fantastic field position, which throughout the course of this season hasn't always been the case.
Yeah, while Egg Harbor has started inside their 10 at their 20, and it's kind of a reversal of fortunes of what we dealt with, as you mentioned, not always the case.
So James Hitchens Jr. is to the bottom of your screen. Moving parts here for Vineland as they have that play kind of sniffed out from the jump.
And they're letting them keep mucking around, and it's going to be a gain of a couple. Well, I'll tell you what, the running back had nowhere to go. He hopped left, he hopped right, he hopped left to get back to the line, and then a late push for a gain of about 2.
2nd and 8 now from the about 45-yard line. We'll mark it at the 47.
There's something I do wrong all the time is tell you how important the next score is, but like it's just creeping up on me. I'm feeling it here. You know, the next score is so important.
2nd and 8 for Vineland. Russo takes the snap. Hands this one off to Charles Clark. Keeps his feet moving.
Great push.
And Clark's going to pick up a first down.
Well, great job. Clark did an awesome job on making that run to get close to the first down. But then at the end of it, it's Darnell Herring, the junior that just started a couple weeks ago, gives him that last shove for the first down. Nothing like having your O-lineman 9 yards upfield making a push.
The friendly banter from the flock.
EHC's defense scrambling. Let's see if Russo can muster something up here. We got a flag.
Flag on the play.
Well, the flag is thrown where you get a hold, but not sure what anyone saw in that rugby scrum up the middle that went for about 4. And that is a hold on Vineland. That's going to make it 1st and 19. I'm sure there was a hold in there, but an eagle eye official with that scrum going on being able to pick up the hold on Vineland, but a great run. Old Eagle Charlie Garner reminiscent, low to the ground and just crawling up forward. So Vineland back on their own side at their own 47 with a 1st and now 19.
Russo in shotgun, takes the snap. He hands this one off, actually keeps it himself. Doesn't have enough space to make it around the outside.
Well, the Eagles' Mike on the outside does a great job of absorbing the block, coming off it, and making a tackle for loss. An outstanding individual effort. So a drive that had a 1st down early, now up against the sticks. Vineland's going to look to throw. Half the time there's no safety over the top. It looks like you can maybe sneak somebody out the backside.
Got a trips bunch at the bottom of your screen. Russo going to carry this one up the gut himself. Has plenty of room to run. He barrels forward and picks up a 1st down and more. Great run by Danny Russo. Just looked like a cannonball shot out of a cannon.
And everything he hit just got pushed to the side. That's the 4th one of those in the last 3 quarters by Russo.
That was a pinball run by Danny Russo. A great pickup there and sets Vineland up in prime position once again here. 1st down, Fighting Clan.
We're talking about a sophomore quarterback that now has converted 4 3rd or 4th and over 14s in the last 3 quarters. And that's just that aggressive running style. And guess what? He's not going to get worse as he gets older, and he's not going to get smaller as he gets older, and he's not going to get weaker as he gets older.
Takes it from the 48 of Vineland to the EHT 29 on that run. As Russo takes the snap, hands this one off to his running back. Charles Clark on the carry.
That's why I like to see with Clark lately. Just if there's 2 yards, get those 2. Don't try to get 8 and give up 3 to get it. And Charles has been doing that. He's taken what's there today, and sometimes he stood up at the line and moving forward for 2. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but 2nd and 8 versus 2nd and 13 is a world of difference.
So under 7 minutes to go here in the opening half, I should say. 2nd quarter action here. Russo takes the snap, hands it off to Clark, who barrels his way forward. Just shy of a 1st down, but another great run by Charles Clark. It's going to set up a 3rd and manageable.
Well, Russo carries out his fake and then tries to peek back in to put a shoulder in Clark to get an extra yard. But it's going to be 3rd down and a long 3 for Vineland as they approach the red zone. They're at the 24-yard line of the Eagles with 6.5 minutes to go, up that 1 point.
It is 7-6 in favor of the Fighting Clan. Or as Rich, we might refer to them all night as the Fightins.
Fightins. I don't want to hear nothing else about that. I taped the ball game.
Russo takes the snap. He's going to carry it himself and picks up a 1st down and a little bit more. Still on his feet. And Vineland is in the red zone. 1st down here for the Fighting Clan.
A lot of times with the quarterback in shotgun, handing the ball or not really RPO, keep-give option, you're starting flat-footed. Russo has the ability that after the fake, he's at top speed in 2 steps, and he doesn't give a darn where anybody's standing. He's going right through it, and that hard running has really kept Vineland's offense moving these past few games.
1st and 10 from the 19 here for Vineland. They'll actually mark it at the 18. Russo and Charles Clark in the backfield. Russo takes the snap. He hands this one off to Clark. Can't weasel his way through there as EHT's defense comes up with a big-time stop. It's going to be 2nd down here for the Fighting Clan.
Linebacker C.J. Johnson gets in and gets low on Clark, able to wrestle him down after the short gain. But that's what it takes. If you're attacking up and you're getting in there quick, it takes a great tackle. And if you're not big enough to square them shoulders and stop them in their tracks, you got to get low right at that line of scrimmage.
Second and 9 here from the 17 for Vineland. Russo going to carry it. He hands it off to DJ Clark, actually, around the outside. And that's where DJ Clark is so lethal. When he's able to get that wraparound on the outside, he can take the ball just about the distance of the field with his speed that he possesses. It's just a matter of him getting around the outside. He does it there, makes it 3rd and 2 from the 11 here for Vineland.
Yeah, and a great job extending that play, but now also for Vineland, I don't think you're going to kick a field goal here because you already got the 1 point. Really doesn't do much unless you make 2 more. So 2 down territory and just a couple to go.
Russo takes the snap. He's going to carry it himself up the gut, and he's got a first down and a little bit more here for the Fighting Clan. It's goal to go distance now.
And Egg Harbor Township has had no answer for Russo, as you mentioned, like a cannonball, just straight up the field. He doesn't look to make a move until he gets past the linebackers. And half these carries, that means it's not happening. He's just plowing forward. Great push behind him. So as an offensive lineman, you don't make the block in front. The guy's going by you, then you get behind him, and we just shove Danny forward.
1st and goal from the 6 for the Fighting Clan. 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Russo takes the snap. He hands it off. Charles Clark is met by a couple of EHT defenders. And it'll be 2nd and goal now for the Fighting Clan.
So all game long, these 3 receivers are coming out to the bottom of the screen. It's almost like pulling 3 people out of the play. We've got 3 out. You've got 3 out. Now we're playing 8 on 8 on the inside, and this time Egg Harbor's backers press the line and are able to make the play. Look for Vineland to, with that 3 on one side, to hit the offside like they did with Clark before, but maybe just a little tighter. Try to get a kick-out block or a cross block up on that left side of the line.
2nd and 7. Russo hands it off, actually carries it himself. He's barreling forward, but we've got a flag on the play.
Yeah, that time Russo tries to hit that spot I mentioned after the fake. Flag comes in late. See if that's another hold on Vineland as they appear to be marching it off against the Clan. That's another hold. I'm not doubting that there's holds, but that play happened so quick. Yeah, the hold in a hurry.
So this will push Vineland back.
2nd and goal from the 14.
And just that quickly, we're under 3 minutes at 2:45 to go.
It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 14 now. And even so, with the clock moving, Vineland's done a great job of controlling time of possession. They've had the ball for most of this game and have really been able to dictate the direction of which this game is going to go.
And that's not the first time they've done that. It was last week jumping out to that 10-0 start against Holy Spirit, where Holy Spirit had 6 offensive plays in the first quarter.
2nd and goal from the 14.
New formation this time.
Russo takes the snap. He fakes the handoff, fires, completes it into the end zone. We're talking about the Fighting Clan touchdown. Vineland. Tayshawn Newman with the reception.
Boy, wide open. You know, they'd lull you to sleep. There's 3 down the bottom, 3 down the bottom. Tighten it up, put them in tight. Let him sneak out. Let Newman, the tight end, sneak out, and he does a little in. The pattern cleared on the outside. Beautiful play design. Coach Tucker's got that one down.
And now as we await the extra point here, Vineland could go up by 8. Ball snapped, kick is spotted, it is up, and it is good.
Boy, great. That snap a little bit high, and there Tyrell Powell pulls it down. Vineland converts. 2:17 to go. Let's break it before we head into half and thank our sponsors as your Fighting Clan up on top 14-6.
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of the Vineland High School football team. Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Newfield National Bank, Van Dodge, Allen Associates, Technid Consulting, Medio Law Firm, Barufi Brothers, G&S Dry Cleaning, Vineland Education Association, Dr. Michael Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, The Gorgo Group,
Kylie Nadell. Zoe Sass. My main man, Matthew Ayala.
And welcome back on in, folks. 2:17 to go here in the second quarter. Vineland leading 14-6. Colin Greif kicks this one away. Deepest kick we've seen all evening. It will be returned by EHT. Taken up past the 30, almost down to the 35. It'll be at the 34 for Egg Harbor Township with 2:10 remaining here in the second quarter. And bringing it back to that touchdown, Rich, on the Dan Russo show, Coach Russo mentioned to me, obviously Charles Burt has been out since week 0. They were Tayshawn Newman said, "Hey, Coach, I think I can, really help this offense a bit more." He's now playing tight end more and more for them in this offense. And I said it's going to open things up for a James Hitchens Jr. and a Tank Powell, but it also is going to open up things for an athletic freak that Tayshawn Newman is with his length, his size. Not too many players in South Jersey can cover the athlete that is Tayshawn Newman, and he gets those points on the board for Vineland.
And not only that, we don't have to spread people out and then get one-on-ones. Newman can make the blocks and make the plays. There's a timeout. We have plenty of time to talk about this. But with the tight end in there, there's the block, go out for a pass option, as compared to knowing I got 3 to one side, 2 on the other because I'm not playing with the tight end. Now that that's tight end's in there, we just saw how you can sneak them out, but yet alone, that athletic freak can make some blocks. I mean, that first game, that's what Burt did, and it would have been a big advantage. And for Newman to come over there, and now you don't show all your cards before the ball snapped.
And Newman was on the Dan Russo show earlier this year when he was exclusively playing at, his edge rusher linebacker position. Just said he's a film junkie. He loves watching film, breaking down games, learns a lot from all levels of the game. Really compared himself to a TJ Watt, and now he's doing it on the offensive side of the ball. Looked a whole lot like Travis Kelce out there playing the tight end position. As EHT is getting set here for their first play of this drive, they pitch it out to the running back there who makes his way around the outside. Great carry there by the EHT running back, DJ German.
9-yard gain.
Pickup of 9.
Second and 1.
Boy, interesting. Not that 9 yards isn't perfect on first down for him, but that formation was a static run formation. You knew it was run. You're not trying to do anything tricky. I expected a little bit more. Maybe Egg Harbor trying to lull Vineland to sleep as they're at their own 44, but we're down to a minute 40 to go.
Second and 1 here for the Eagles.
That's
Looking
more
to
like
pass. Firing deep. And it's incomplete. Christian Rando looking for DJ German once again, just through the passing game on that one. But it's going to set up 3rd and 1 now for the Eagles.
Yeah, Russo in coverage. He had a couple steps there, just not able to convert it. That's more of what I expected on that first down from EHT, but that stops the clock with 1:28. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Vineland that 8-point lead.
Big 3rd down here for both teams. You want to see Vineland continue that defensive momentum, get a big stop, and EHT looking to convert here with 1:28 left to try to answer the touchdown by Tayshawn Newman. Down 14-6 are the Eagles. They're looking to pass again here on 3rd and 1. Scrambling. Pass. It's complete.
Well, I
Looked
almost
like that
thought
might
we
have been tipped.
I thought we almost picked that underneath, but it's complete for the first down.
To number 88, TJ Bigley.
Well, good pressure by the defense gets him rolling, but the receiver works back towards the quarterback.
TJ Biglin on the reception there for EHT from Christian Rando. 1st and 10 from the 45. Now under a minute to go. Rando looking to pass. He's scrambling. And he's getting chased down, taken down by the Vineland defense, but picks up a few yards on the carry.
And that's right, at 52 seconds, EHT will use their second timeout. That leaves them 1. 52 on the clock. Over into Vineland's side of the field. Looks like going to be right at the, as you mentioned, the 42-yard line with a second and about 5. Well, he's had some time to throw, but he's never dropping straight back and sitting in the pocket. So when that quarterback's rolling, the coverage is rolling, and it's just up to that outside rusher where we have Akemi DeVellis. They've got to come up and plant on that outside. Quarterback's rolling to you. Don't go heading in for the tackle. Let's turn him back in. Then his ball won't get where it needs to go, and then you will get that pick or that short throw. It's the hardest thing in football at any level, but especially high school, not to attack the guy with the ball, but put him in a position where he can't do anything with it.
So 2nd and 7 here for Egg Harbor, down 14-6.
I think the NFL officials would say, this is a 30-second timeout. So no commercial, we're ready to go, 52 seconds.
That's one where they pop the commercial on the screen
Yeah,
at the same time.
on the side there.
Rando looking to pass. He's scrambling. He's taken down by Vineland's defense. Looked like DJ Clark was in there on that initial takedown of Rando.
So Egg Harbor's Stetzer will use his last timeout with 42 seconds to go. So now it makes it a little tougher, but the toughest thing is it's 3rd and 5. Egg Harbor really wants to answer, but if I'm not mistaken, Egg Harbor gets the ball next half also. So an answer here could be a possession to take the lead. Vineland's defense just needs to hold up on these last 42 seconds, keep them out of the end zone, and go into half with a lead. And then I'm always about getting up 9 points, having that room for error that you could take a deep breath and regroup. And I don't think it's the last we've seen the offense score. And we've watched them run the ball. We've watched Russo dominate the rushing game. But then we saw, oh, let me sneak a pass in for 18 yards for a score.
So 3rd and 5 here for Egg Harbor from the 40-yard line. Vineland up 14-6. Touchdowns coming from Danny Russo on the ground. And then he passed one to Tayshawn Newman to put Vineland up by 8 points right now.
Bryant Maven on the bottom by himself. They're looking that way.
Rando fires. He's going deep. And it's complete for a touchdown to J. Nelly Reyes, his 2nd of the evening.
Boy, he had a lot behind that. I thought it was going to come up short the way the ball was wobbling a little bit, but he completes it over Maven in the end zone. And that's one thing we've seen tonight from the Vineland defense. They're in okay position, but they don't have enough time to locate the football in either of these big plays.
Rando let that one fly like an eagle.
That got clipped by some buckshot a little bit, but boy, it was amazing how far it went for not getting that tight spiral off. It real great arm strength and an outstanding throw because it went right where he wanted despite that.
And EHT is going to go for 2 once again to try to tie this ball game up. Rando fires to J. Nelly Reyes, and it's 14-14.
Right through the defense of Vineland, almost deflected, but Egg Harbor Township converts it. So we have a fan trying to get in the Vineland coaching booth. The other side's the way they need to go. That was me talking to him through all of you out there, but he was not listening to a word, and I think Coach X is going to put him in a chokehold in a minute. Not really, but.
Rich just did his best Deadpool impression, breaking the 4th wall.
So all tied up, 34 seconds. Vineland with 2 timeouts, but I don't think they're going to get a chance to really return one here as you look for a little squib kick, get them back to the 30. Well, this Vineland team has dealt with adversity, and now they're dealing with a little bit here As with 34 seconds left, EHT gets in the end zone and makes a two-point conversion, picks up 8 points. Vineland didn't have long to defend, under 3 minutes to defend it, but just not able to. And that really did nothing to excite the crowd that isn't even paying attention to the ball game. Very different than everywhere else we've been this year.
And this one is squibbed up in the air. It will be dropped and recovered by Vineland.
I thought you were going to get to say it's squib to squib. Almost, but somebody else jumped in the middle of that. 31 seconds.
10 from the 36.
And as you mentioned earlier too, Rich, EHT will receive that second half opening kickoff, so bit of an advantage now in favor of the home team. Unless Vineland just airs this one out with 31.5 seconds and makes this a...
Well, when we tried to crawl back into the Washington Township game at the end, that didn't work so good. So I don't know what we're going to see here. I would think some, if not just a dive and get into halftime, maybe something trying to hit the seam in the middle where you got lots of people to tackle if something goofy were to happen.
Russo looking to pass. He's firing.
Oh my goodness. What a defensive play by Egg Harbor, breaking up the touchdown. And Leon Ellis makes the play because that was looking like 6, just that easy for Hitchens Jr.
And you know what I say? Do that same play again.
I say they have no timeouts, 26 seconds. You may do it one more time, but on the next one, you're going to have to run it. Boy, that was really close. An outstanding play. That would have been a backbreaker.
Russo in shotgun, 2nd and 10 from the 36 here for Vineland. Russo takes the snap. He's looking to pass. He pumps, fires, complete.
Pass complete. Caught by number 26.
So 20 seconds and running. I don't think Vineland's going to use their timeout here. They're just going to maybe take it with a few seconds left and heave it one more time.
Caught by number 27, Tayshawn Sharp.
As Russo heads to the sideline, they take the timeout with 6 seconds to go.
Timeout. Vineland.
Boy, it just seems like Vineland's really outplayed Egg Harbor, and I look up at that scoreboard, and that's not telling me the same thing. So this week it's Vineland Egg Harbor. The winner kind of gets into a spot to make it in the playoffs. Egg Harbor's regular season ends tonight, so they will be holding there, seeing if anybody climbs on top. But for Vineland, I didn't look at last week's scores for Pennsauken. I like to take it one game at a time, Coach. But Pennsauken undefeated going into last week, and Vineland has them. So if they get both, they're definitely in. But they've got to get this one.
Just under 6 seconds to go here in the opening half. Let's see what Russo and company conjure up here on this 3rd down play. Looking to pass, scrambling. And Russo's taken down, and that's going to do it here for the first half of action. 14-14 your score in a battle between the Eagles and the Fighting Clan. And like you mentioned, Rich, it feels like Vineland's been dominating most of this game, but we do have a tie score going into halftime.
And we'll go into the second half with first possession going to Egg Harbor. Look for that defense to settle itself a little bit. And then just do what you did in the first half as you were up on top of it, and you just got to follow through.
So we'll break away here for halftime. It's 14-14 here at Egg Harbor Township. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa on the call. We'll see you all after halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the field the 2022 Egg Harbor Township Silver Eagle Marching Band. Their service show is entitled The Blood Moon. No one really knows what's going to happen during the Blood Moon. This past Saturday, our Silver Eagle Band competed at MetLife Stadium with 50 other introduction, Mr. Matt Wyckoff. Our drum majors, Jacob Stafford, Carl Koch. Our soloist, Taylor McQueen. Ethan Foreman. Aaron Beltran. We'd also like to welcome our friends from Vineland, the Vineland High School Marching Clan. Welcome to Eagle Stadium. This year's show, Blood Moon, features a mashup of the music of Imagine Dragons and the iconic rock band Radiohead. Join us in wishing the band good luck tomorrow as they head to Seneca for the Battle of the Bands, followed by state finals in Hillsborough and the national championships at MetLife on November 5th. If you watch closely during the show, you will see, if you look in the back of the field, the blood moon will actually appear in the back. Keep an eye out. Jacob Stafford, you ready? Ready to rock this show? Ladies and gentlemen, our senior drum major, Jacob Stafford. Halloween might be in 2 weeks, but we're going to have a little Halloween tonight here on the field as the Blood Moon Show gets ready to rumble. Hey Vineland, how you doing down there? Vineland Band, how you doing down there? Welcome to Eagle Country. Ladies and gentlemen, the Silver Eagle Marching Band presents Blood Moon.
The judges are ready. Drum majors, Jacob Stafford, Kyle Koch. East
in the second half. This game is tied. Vineland 14, your Eagles 14. Hey, friendly reminder, we've had a great first half. I'm going to ask that we all continue to cheer appropriately and maintain proper decorum. Mr. Reynolds, I got him. They're all right. Come on, Flock, we can do it. We're good. It's a beautiful Friday night. We're just having a good time.
And we all.
And welcome back, Vineland High School football fans. We are getting set for second half action here at Egg Harbor Township High School with the Fighting Clan and the Egg Harbor Township Eagles all knotted up at 14 apiece, Rich. And Vineland's offense has been clicking. They found their stride a bit. And we mentioned going into halftime, it's felt like they've really controlled this game from start to half, but the scoreboard dictates otherwise.
Yeah, it's been a few big plays by the Eagles and, just trying to figure out the flow of this game. And it's almost impossible to do. The one thing we do know is that sophomore Danny Russo is running like a bat out of you-know-where. Like he's just continued from where he was the last 2 weeks, and he's making those first down runs. And we have Charles Clark picking up what is there in the middle. And there's not a lot because there's 4 and 5 down linemen most of the time. So it's not like, oh, Clark's not getting anywhere. Oh, the line don't block. We spread a field to try to get some advantages, or we play tight to get an advantage. But there is no advantage in between the tackles when you got 5 big boys sitting there, because even a good block doesn't move them enough. And this game, Clark has done well, just making sure he gets what he can, and it makes second and third down that much easier. So if that continues, you got to think Vineland's not done scoring, but it's been a couple big pass plays and one that could have been that was just a little bit underthrown. It's the Eagles' offense is like on their last wind and their last breath, and they're getting it. So Vineland's been a little more secure in what they're doing. So you think offensively Vineland has a lead, but when you convert a big plays like they did with getting the ball back with a minute and a half left, it counts the same on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the 2 touchdowns for Egg Harbor Township came on receptions from J. Nelly Reyes, who has come up with some big-time plays down in the corner of the end zone for EHT. And you just got to hope Vineland's defense, adjusts to that, make sure they're keeping an eye on him, because he seems to be the go-to guy tonight for the EHT offense.
And EHT can throw it, but that's not what they want to do. They don't start a ball game saying we want to air it out. That's not what they want to do. Vineland's pushed them into positions to throw it, and they're hitting about 3 out of 4 on it right now. So that's got to get tightened up a little bit, and that's been a trend early in the year. Vineland's defense not giving up a lot in the passing game, but now they've been a little taxed the last few weeks, and they've had some breakdowns. They're not able to turn around and find the ball, because any of those passes, none of them were overthrown, that if you locate the ball, then you become somebody trying to catch it, and you have great position on that receiver. But if you don't see the ball, you're just running towards him, and he catches it over your back, which has happened twice.
So Greif is going to get set to kick this one away. EHT will start the second half with the ball on offense. And we'll see if Vineland's defense has made some adjustments to shut down this EHT offense once and for all. Greif kicks this one away. A deep kick here. It will be returned. And EHT is going to make this one up past the 20-yard line all the way down to the 24.
Well, look at the progression in the kickoff team, with Greif early on being asked to pop it to the 35, and they start at the 40, the 35. Now this twice in a row, they've allowed him to kick it deep, and he's kicked it back to the 10, and now you've lost 15, 20 yards of field position. So it takes a first down and a half to get back to where you would have started from, and that gives your defense some room. And for so long this season, we've talked about the defense starting on their own side of the field in about 70% of the possessions early in the season.
So first down here for the Eagles.
Let's watch that defensive line take over a little bit here.
They hand this one off. That's Leon Ellis on the carry.
Well, Coach Guzman, the defensive line coach, is, as we saw in the podcast, has been here the longest with Coach Russo, and that defensive line has always been solid, and they're anchored by Akame and DeVellis. And those guys have the most tackles for loss, the most sacks on the team, and they're going to get there soon, and that's going to kill a drive.
2nd and 6 here for the Eagles. Seeing Rando line up under center now the last 2 plays. He takes the snap, he fires, it's complete, beats a man, and EHT is going to take this one the distance, going for speed. That is an Egg Harbor Township touchdown. Number 2, DJ German on the touchdown reception, and EHT gets out to a quick start here in the second half with a 20-14 lead now.
German not the fastest, just kidding. Boy, like a lightning bolt. He pulled away from everybody. Great turnover rate. That was some enormous speed as he outruns the angles of the Vineland defenders, and that's somebody we don't want in the open anymore.
EHT attempting their first extra point of the night. They've gone for 2 the last 2 times out. Ball spotted, kick is up, and it is good. So with 11 minutes to go here in the third quarter, EHT has their first lead of the game, 21-14 your score.
Well, going for 2 on the first 2 tries, you ask, can he kick it?
Yes, he can.
Exactly, as he boots that through with some ease. I called sure he's going for distance. Well, a shot to the jaw, the Fighting Clan, 1 minute into the third quarter to fall down by 7, but they'll be getting the football, and do they have a response? If you're Egg Harbor's defensive coordinator, you've not been thrilled with your defense today, and they get put to the test early in this second half here as Vineland set to receive, looking to even this back out.
And we'll see how Vineland approaches this drive, too. Throughout that entire first half, Rich, they really controlled the time of possession. They held on to the ball for long lengths of time throughout that entire first half. We'll see if that's what Coach Tucker's plan is here going into their first drive of the third quarter.
And Vineland's kick return team still with all skills. When we say skill players, that doesn't mean the big guys aren't skilled, but we're talking about linebackers, running backs, wide receivers out there, always ready for an onside kick or a line drive kick. Doesn't lead to the best blocking out there, but.
And this one is squibbed once again. It's going to take a bounce and a roll, and it goes out of bounds, so we obviously have that kicking flag.
Woo. Great job by the Vineland return guys, but it's kind of close.
So that'll set them up at the 40.
Correct. So Vineland with great field position to start this. Sophomore Russo gets them back in the huddle. See if Vineland can play with a little aggression here. They were dominating up front, and not dominating that they're getting 5 yards a pop, but they were getting a couple, and then they were getting a big one of like 7, 8 yards. So they've been able to do some things against that loaded box.
And if I'm not mistaken, Rich, this might be Vineland's worst starting field position of the game.
I believe you're right.
So 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan from the 40-yard line, their first offensive possession of the second half. Let's see how Danny Russo, Coach Tucker, and the rest of this offense respond after the defense gives up the tie game. Russo on the end around, fakes it, fires, and it falls incomplete.
Well, a beautiful play. It's a fake end around, and then you're going deep, but that was covered perfectly by one of the defenders by the Eagles.
2nd and 10 now from the 35-yard line.
That was one you're looking for the home run there. You're looking for it right away, get your score within a minute, too, and let's get back at it. But great job defensively by the Eagles.
Russo, he's going to carry this one himself after he surveyed the options.
Russo on the carry.
Picks up maybe 5 on that run.
Gets them to a makeable third down here. It's going to be third
Tackle by
and about 5.
21. Michael Wiedemann. Gain of 6. Third
They're going to
and
give
4
him
for
6 on that one. So 3rd and 4 now for Vineland. And we'll see what Coach Tucker has drawn up here.
So you see Russo doing that, and as I mentioned before, it's not just like, all right, let's just plow forward. They're letting that defensive line get up the field, and Russo's coming in a little late underneath.
Man in motion. Russo going to take it himself. But he's going to be short of a first down.
So last time in this position, Vineland punted it away and pinned the Eagles deep. This time they're a little further back in their own end. They're not over the 50. Looks like the offense is staying out on a 4th and short. Well, I think we're officially calling it a 4th and 2, and here comes the punt team on.
I was going to say, I didn't hate the idea of trying to go for it or potentially trying to draw EHT off sides, because we do know Danny Russo is very successful with that hard count that he possesses. But it will be 4th and 2, and they will look to allegedly punt, I'll say.
Yeah, sometimes I think if it's 4th and 2 to 4 and you're going to go for it, send the punt team in and run a fake punt, because then you have different defenders in there.
Ball snapped, good snap there. High punt for Greif. Bounces forward, and it's down by Vineland. So EHT will set up shop for their second offensive possession here in the 3rd quarter, leading 21-14 over the Fighting Clan.
Their last 2 plays have been 2 long touchdown passes. It's time to tighten up. The defense had a turnover early in the game. That resulted in some points. They don't need to go after the football just yet. We just need to stop here, but it's time to tighten it up.
Rando hands this one off to the running back. They're going to get a fresh set of downs on the first down carry there.
As Hitchens and Xavier Diaz make the stop, but they're going to make it 2nd and 1.
Leon Ellis on the carry for the Eagles.
Kind of like 2nd and 1 if I'm an offense, better than 1st and 10. Last time they just went quarterback sneak and didn't try to do anything too creative with the extra down, as I call it, that they had. And this time, sure enough, quarterback under center.
Rando takes the snap. He's going to take it himself, taking a page out of Danny Russo's book. And we'll see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be a first down, though.
Kind of nice. The Eagles offensive line comes out and gets set. They go on first down. So with that 1st and 10, we're at 8.5 to go in the 3rd. Last year it was 34-0 Egg Harbor Township over Vineland. We're in a 1-score game here, but that defense needs to step up.
Rando looking to pass. It's swatted down by Danny Russo in the open field.
And Russo having a lot more time on defense here today. It's Noah Cruz over there with him. So 2nd and 10.
Rando hands this one off, breaks a tackle, does the running back.
Hand off to number 5, Dylan Camp.
Now Fanador on the stop.
6-yard
Dylan
gain.
Camp on the carry there.
We have 3rd and 4.
So Vineland subs out their big tackles here.
Third and 4 here for Egg Harbor.
Sadi and Bennett come in. Vineland trying to get a little size up front, anticipating the run.
Brando pitches this one out.
Toss to German.
We got flags on the field.
Flag
It
on
was
the play.
DJ German on the carry.
Well, that could be a big help as that's holding on the Eagles. That'll push EHT back to a 3rd and long. So that's at the 41. So it's going to make it 3rd and about 11.
Will be 3rd and 12.
Just when you say, well, that's the break Vineland needed. Well, maybe without the hold, you make the tackle, and that's a nice tackle setting up a 3rd and long. So 6 and 1, half dozen the other. But either way, it makes it tougher on the Eagles. That's where it's 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd.
EHT leading this one 21-14.
Wisely just throwing it away. Enough time to move around the pocket. The offensive line does a nice job of no holding and just giving them protection, and the smart quarterback dumps it away. So the Vineland defense makes a stop, stops Egg Harbor at their own 46-yard line, where they'll be punting it back to the Fighting Clan in this one-score game with 6:55 to go on the clock.
A much-needed defensive stop there from Vineland after giving up the touchdown with only a minute gone by in this quarter here.
Joey Martin going to kick it away here.
Good snap, ball is kicked away. Good punt there for EHT. Xavier Diaz will return this one, and he brings it up to about the 35-yard line.
Sometimes you don't say, what a nice return if they don't get 30, 40 yards, but he does a great job not fair catching it, picking up another 12 yards. So Vineland starts, as you mentioned, right around the 35-yard line. So Vineland going to send 4 down to the bottom here with Hitchens all alone up top. It's spread out. Is this Russo run time, or are we swinging it outside?
Clark in motion. Russo going to take this one himself. He's shifting around defenders, and a great pickup there by Danny Russo on the QB keeper.
Well, he's got 5. He made a couple moves. One guy to beat before he had about another 10, 12 yards. And as I've been saying all game, just the speed in which he presses downhill, not laterally. One step laterally, then it's back upfield, and that puts some pressure on a defense. So gain of 4 is going to make it 2nd and 6 as we're halfway through the 3rd quarter here. Vineland looking to rally to tie this up. Second play in a row, we've got quad receivers to the bottom, Hitchens alone up top. Last time it was motion and a fake sweep. Here's motion.
Clark in motion. He's going to take it himself, spins around a defender, picks up a 1st down and more. Great play there by the Vineland offense.
Well, that was just like Madden or NCAA football back in the day. The spin move at the perfect time, frees him from the tackle, allows him to pick up the 1st down. Every game it seems like DJ Clark has just factored into the offense more and more and more. And it's a change between the two Clarks and between Russo, and I think that presents some problems as compared to just knowing who's back there, what's going on, how they run the football. Vineland showing it again.
4 receivers down to the bottom of your screen. Russo looking to pass. He's being chased, has to throw that one into the ground. Charles Clark in the direction.
Well, that may be one of Russo's best plays of the day, as this time Egg Harbor says, Forget all that nonsense. We're staying in the box. We're staying in the middle, Russo. You're not running it. And wisely, Danny gets to the outside and throws it to the heels of one of his running backs or receivers, whatever you want to call them, because they move all over, and avoids a loss on the play, keeping it 2nd and 10.
Ball at the 49-yard line. Vineland trailing 21-14, 5:17 to go here in the third quarter. Again, 4 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Russo going to carry this one up the gut, tries to make his way through. He bounces around. He's got a first down and more. Russo to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Dancing on his own into the end zone. Danny Russo ties this game up, pending the extra point. What a run by Russo to bounce off of the defenders trying to take him down. Bounces around the outside, makes an incredible run downfield, and that's what makes him so lethal as a quarterback. He's a quarterback that can run. He's not a running quarterback, but he puts points on the board for the second time tonight with his legs, and we'll see if Greif ties this one up for Vineland.
Well, I'm sorry if I had the player wrong, but to me it looked like Bennett, the tackle, 15 yards upfield, makes a block that Russo goes to the outside. If it wasn't Bennett, whoever it was, an outstanding block way on the far side.
And Greif kicks this one through the uprights. And with 5:05 remaining on the clock, we have a brand new ball game. It's 21-21. And you mentioned, if it's Bennett, whatever player it was, on their Jason Kelsey grind. That's the type of play you see those athletic offensive linemen making to make sure whoever the ball carrier is able to get space and get downfield, whether it's to pick up yards or, in this case, a touchdown.
And not just standing there waiting for the man to come to him to block him, going towards him so your back then knows what they can do. That back this time was quarterback Danny Russo, where he uses that blocker who's showing him what he's doing and where he's going. And without that pickup, it's a great run, and we're at 1st and 10 at the 25. That's a touchdown-making block. And an awesome job by Russo, bottled up in the middle, takes a step back, puts his head down, slides forward, and then off to the races. Great play all around. Way to stay in it the whole entirety of that play.
And Coach Tucker has to be thrilled with how that play ended up working out. As Greif gets set to kick this one away to the Eagles, with this ball game all knotted up at 21 apiece.
Well, it's like we're playing tennis and we got a volley going here. It was Vineland made a stop. Egg Harbor didn't hold serve. Vineland got it back and did. So now it's going to be on that defense. Was that holding call really pushed Egg Harbor back out of down and distance.
Greif boots this one downfield. Another great kick by Colin Greif, as this one will be returned by EHT. And their best return of the night. They're going to take this one up close to the 40-yard line.
Nakai Gray stays in his lane and makes the tackle, doesn't over-pursue. Nice blocking on that return, too. It wasn't Vineland guys running by. They were getting picked up. So nice field position for Egg Harbor to start. Last time they tried to establish a run. They tried to establish that line of scrimmage. Didn't work out as they wanted with that holding call, but they've been lethal the last 2 times they wanted to put it in the air.
And we've seen Rando lining up under center for a majority of this game now. After that opening drive, he was in shotgun. He's been under center for most of this game now, as that's where he sets up shop. Looking to pass here on first down. He fires deep, and it's incomplete, intended for Gurman.
Kind of seems weird to see a quarterback under center and then throw it. I mean, that's the way the game always worked for 80 years. but it was strange. You drop back and then you throw it long. Blanket coverage out there, 1 over, 1 under, and incomplete. And sound like a broken record, but now it gets you out of down and distance. That's where even that Charles Clark 2-yard run, 2nd and 8, is different than 2nd and 10 for this offense.
2nd and 10 here. It is for Egg Harbor as Rando lines up under center. He's looking to pass again. He fires, and it's through the hands of Gurman.
Nice coverage by Russo on that one with Xavier Diaz coming up to help out. So just that quickly, it's 3rd down with 4:47 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And again, Vineland's done a great job with time of possession in this game. It's been something that throughout this entire game has really contributed to what it's felt like Vineland having control over pretty much every single possession because they've been able to control the clock.
As I mentioned last week, it was Vineland with 9 minutes of possession approximately, and if they had 3 minutes in the first quarter was Holy Spirit, and they're kind of going at it that same way again. And we're talking about a running back in Clark that's a sophomore, quarterback that's a sophomore. Sophomore's out in the slot and that wide receiver.
Rando in shotgun. He's looking to pass. He's being chased by a plethora of Vineland
Clip.
defenders.
There it is. Great job, Russo. All this is for naught as Danny Russo established position 5 yards in the backfield and gets clipped. So that's coming way back. That's going to be about a 15-yard loss on the play. And if he doesn't establish that position, that's an experienced football player. That's all the time in the junior football and in the summer leagues. He knew he was going to get hit. He knew he wasn't going to make the tackle, but he stayed in there, and sure enough, they've got to clip him to get him out of the way. If you're over-aggressive on that play, you take yourself right out of it.
This is going to push EHT way back into their own territory at about the 23-yard line.
So about 27 yards to go for a first.
3rd and 25 here for the Eagles. Rando in shotgun takes the snap. He's looking to pass. He's being chased. Going to carry it himself, but he's taken down by the Vineland defense. That was Bennett who made the initial stop.
4-yard run by Rando.
Yeah, Bennett from behind stays in the play, doesn't give up. Well, not what EHT wanted, but just what the doctor ordered for the Fighting Clan as that drive goes for negative 11 yards. 2 penalties, that holding call last time and this clip, even though they weren't going to get the first down, it's going to be 3rd and about 12 or 4th and about 12, but still. Tight formation by Egg Harbor.
Good snap, ball is kicked away. And it's going to roll, take a very good roll for EHT, but Vineland's going to set up shop just inside the 35-yard line.
Well, if you're Vineland, you want to trust that offense now. And it's kind of like when I was coaching, if it's 4th down and you're going to kick me the ball, get 2 yards off that ball, I don't even want you going near that kicker. I don't care. Let it bounce, let it roll, because the offense has been executing well and get back to it. And even though there's 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the third, I got to think Vineland's going to try to grind right now. Last time they did it by spreading the field with 4 receivers to the bottom, 1 up top. Let's see if they come back out in that set that was successful for them. Because you got Egg Harbor, like, we kept them in and we stopped them. We kept them in, and then sure enough, he busted a long one. Are we going to cover out? We're going to have no help over the top. Vineland with a more traditional set, just sending 3 to the bottom with a running back alongside Russo on first. This looks set up well for Vineland. And flags before the snap, probably procedure, and it is on Vineland.
Just went to go check social media as well to see if there's any scores, but I did stumble upon that Tom McGurk is in the building tonight.
Yeah, I got to talk to Tom before the game. It's been a while since I've seen him, and being 54 years old, when I got a new phone and couldn't remember my Twitter thing, it's been about 8 months since I've been on Twitter where I usually talk to him.
Good to see Tom in the building.
And it's good to have an old Cape Atlantic American rivalry back in here. You know, this used to be what it was all about. And
I remember a number of swim meets here at EHT.
many wrestling tournaments and matches. Them yellow lights.
Russo hands this one off.
Clark swung down kind of immediately. But that'll make it 2nd down. He gets back most of the penalty. They're going to mark him up 4 yards. Nice finish by Clark. When I was in high school, we'd come here and wrestle and had that Betamax camera, and everything was yellow with the lights they had in the gym back then. So we're at 3 minutes. Vineland can pop it in the end zone here or get a score here. So go a long way to how we finish this game off. Newman jumps to the other side. Egg Harbor confused defensively.
Schwed moves in motion. Russo fires. It's complete.
Hold on to that, Newman. And Newman with the sliding catch. Newman. Similar to the one that went that time, sliding down, picking up a first down. And you know what? You get 10 yards, you get a first down. That's great. But now you have people having to defend more than one thing. And when you make professional players put them on an island to decide, it's one thing. When you do it to a 16 to 18-year-old kid, it's a lot more difficult.
As we bring up Newman, Vineland looking to pull a George Costanza and get 7.
Leave him on a high note.
Russo hands this one off, and Clark is taken down aggressively there by number 52, Darrell Caesar. And we're not talking pizza.
We have no king but Caesar. Or that little cute white dog neither. So 2nd and 9. Shouldn't that be 3rd now? No, the sliding catch for the first.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Xavier Diaz in at wide receiver towards the bottom of your screen. Man moves in motion out wide. Russo looking to pass. He fires. It's complete. And we've got plenty of room to run here. Good pickup there, just shy of a first down. We'll see where they exactly spot it.
Well, then that time it's Darnell Herring out front. And Herring makes the move on the block, but the back didn't read it right and went to the inside where he was pushing. The outside probably would have got him down inside the 20. But 3rd and short. Egg Harbor saying, I don't care if you got 3 out there, I'm going to lag in the middle.
Russo's going to push this one forward on a quick count. And Vineland's got a fresh set of downs here with under a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. Tie ball game, 21-21 here at EHT.
Well, kind of the same exact quarterback sneak that Egg Harbor has been doing. Slide over your guard and then head up the field. The downfield blocking has been stupendous for Vineland. Those of you that are with us all the time, you know this is the point where I go, we get in and a stop, and then it's good. This is important. This is very important. This drive needs to keep moving. You've got them on their heels.
Russo going to take it himself. Not much there for him.
Well, he runs into a wall of humanity, both our guys and theirs, and there's just a big pile in the middle. Good job by that defensive line of the Eagles on that one.
And that's going to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 21-21 your score. Vineland driving to try to take a lead here. And we're going to send you to a word from our sponsors as we get set for 4th quarter action here
The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of the Vineland High School football team. Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Newfield National Bank, Van Dodge, Allen Associates, Technid Consulting, Medio Law Firm, Barufi Brothers, G&S Dry Cleaning, Vineland Education Association, Dr. Michael Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, The Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, The Gorgo Group, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Catering, Bettino ShopRite, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Homestead Plumbing, Richland Carpet, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria, and Sir Speedy Printing. The Vineland High School football team and coaches thanks everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season.
And welcome back, everybody. We are getting set for fourth quarter action here at Egg Harbor Township High School with the Fighting Clan and the EHT Eagles all tied up at 21 apiece. Vineland is driving in the direction of where they scored their first touchdown earlier when Vineland's defense came up with a clutch fumble recovery and punched it in for 6. Let's see what Danny Russo has here for 2nd and 8 from the 39. Russo looking to pass. He's actually going to carry it himself. Still on his feet, but taken down now, so it'll bring up 3rd down.
Little new look with Cephas back there. He almost got through and ran into a shoulder, but that was a big old shoulder on the inside. That brings him down for a short loss, 3rd and 9. I almost like to see some way for when Russo's going to do that. He could just put it behind him and have that back act like he's taking a play off, because they're jumping in the middle. As you look down at the screen there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys up on that line trying to stop that gut rush of Vineland.
3rd and 10 here for the Fighting Clan.
And there's 3 guys out wide, and they're just staying in the box.
Russo rolling out, looking to pass. It's incomplete, intended for Israel Schwed.
So 4th down from the 42-yard line of the EHT Eagles. Punt team coming in. This could pin them deep. And you wonder how many more possessions are there to be had. You got to figure out a 4th and 5, you may be doing something different, but 4th and 9 or 10, it's kick time. Surprised EHT hasn't put pressure on with Vineland struggles in the past.
Good snap there. Greif gets this one blocked. And EHT pushes it forward. And just a dreadful turn of events there as EHT is set up with prime field position now inside the 25.
That's been an Achilles heel for special teams for Vineland, is their punt protection, and EHT's laid back all game. And just as I mentioned, I'm surprised they don't go after one. They do that time as they send pressure through the middle, and they start an outstanding field position at the 23-yard line. But as negative as that is, there's no points on the board from it, so you give your defense a chance here.
Rando in shotgun. Sorry, he was under center, actually. Dylan Camp doing his best Rando impression there in the backfield, but EHT now with a 2nd down here.
You come to me on my, Rando, my bad. No, but right now I saw a player from Vineland trying to get the ball loose. It's not what the time is. We need to make a stop, force them to a field goal attempt if they do attempt it. But don't just go ball tackling right now, because you're giving up 2-3 yards extra every time.
2nd and 6.
Down a score, yeah, let's get the ball. But right now, let's just make some plays. Egg Harbor's produced some penalties. Put them in a position where they got to do something.
Rando looking to pass. He's scrambling. Fires. And it's...
Keep fighting for it, Danny. Keep fighting for it, Danny.
We're awaiting the call from there by the officials. And Vineland reacting like they haven't.
Well, this is going to be trouble. The officials have signaled that it's down and a completion for Egg Harbor. Danny Russo, I believe it was, and the receiver fighting over the ball on the ground. But when you're on the ground, joint possession, both of you having the football, goes to the offense. The officials are starting to meet. That gives us a glimmer of hope on this, as Russo came up with it on the ground.
And Vineland has it.
Oh, outstanding job. And I just watched an NFL game. 2 guys go to the ground and one stop fighting for it the other week. Again, we talked about Russo picking up that clip on that play that stopped the drive. And here, no, and when you hit the ground, don't stop. Just keep fighting for that football. pulled it from. I mean, I'm looking at Coach Heck in the booth. He's the one who told me all this and taught me this when I was 12, 13, and 14. But, yeah, you got to know what you're doing. Now, Vineland in a precarious position. They have the football back, but they're at their own 2-yard line and running out of a shotgun most of the time. You're starting in the end zone.
So 1st and 10 here for Vineland.
A holding call in the end zone is a safety. You don't get out of the end zone, it's a safety. Russo under center.
Trying to push him forward to give him some breathing room.
Russo the keeper. Tackle on the play, number 3, Ryan Ayakubi. 7 and 9 from the 2.
6'4", 290 pounds, the junior Herring with a nice push on the inside. He stood out on that offensive line today.
2nd and 9 here for Vineland. Russo.
They're running in. He's close. And the officials are ruling him down just outside the end zone. Great job by Russo pushing forward. That was super close.
3rd and 10 from the 1.
Now, you just throw it here, right? Because even if you go to punt it and they block it, they got a safety. Whoop-de-doo. Because if you try to run it out, there's a 50-50 shot. You're going to have a safety. So tighten it up, sneak somebody out, and get it up in the air. So it's 3rd down and 11 from inside their own 1.
Russo takes the snap. He fakes it, passes.
Oh, that was there. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, that was there to Newman. The perfect play call goes incomplete. That was 6. But then again, that's a play you don't practice all that often. The timing with a new tight end and quarterback in the end zone. There's been a low percentage to complete it, but boy, that was a touchdown if it's completed. I think if I'm Egg Harbor, I almost want to let him punt this one to me with this field position. Trust my offense to move it. You rough that kicker, you're going to give up a 1st down. The band starts to play.
Reif gets this one away. It will be returned. And the EHT return man brought down inside the 25.
Good job getting rid of that kick. So it almost moves us back to where the last drive started. Again, Russo in on this tackle there. He's been on both sides of the ball all over making some key plays. So we've had a lot of football, but not a lot of time come off the clock here in the 4th quarter with 8:25 to go. We're still at 21s. Egg Harbor starting inside the Vineland 25-yard line. Under center goes the quarterback.
We got flags.
Push him back. 5 yards back. Procedure on the offense. You know, the officials on a 5-yard penalty always move it back 5 yards, but it's interesting. Some do a long step. This guy had a long one and a baby one, long one, baby one. They all end up where they got to get, but it's kind of funny. So it'll be 1st again, but 1st and 15. Ball just outside the 29 of Vineland. Quarterback goes back under center. Whistles blow yet again. And they move it up a little bit, so there was a little hop, hop, stagger, stagger, crawl, Monty Python style. They move it up a yard.
Rando looking to pass. He's firing towards the corner of the end zone. And it's caught for a touchdown. You guessed it. It goes to number 24, J. Nelly Reyes, his third touchdown in pretty much the same exact spot of the end zone tonight. It's 27-21, Egg Harbor.
Beautiful ball. Vineland in good position, but he just gets over the top of the Vineland defender and able to make the play. 8:16 to go here in the fourth quarter. Egg Harbor up 6, looking to make it 7.
Ball snap, spotted, kick is up, and it is good. So with 8:16 remaining here in regulation, EHT takes a 28-21 lead over Vineland.
Well, some of the good things about having your opponent start on your own 25-yard line is you may not take too much time off, so plenty of time on the clock for 2 more possessions for the Clan here, as they're going to have to score on each. The officials are placing an order for takeout or something down there as they're still together as we get ready to try to kick this off. Boy, there's touch on that pass from the quarterback. Tell you what, the officials have not been a factor whatsoever tonight. They've called a good game on both sides here. Yeah, the block punt really pushes Vineland back. Not able to withstand that field position. They did the one time on the interception by Russo, but that led to great field position right back where they started. Just not able to do it that second time. And you see how different that ball is if you're throwing it from your own 25. We're in position, and it's a whole different thing. You have that end zone out of bounds line to use as a back defender.
EHT squibs this one away. It will be returned by Vineland, taken by Schwed. Up past the 35, down at about the 36-yard line. So the squib to Schwed puts Vineland in decent field position to hopefully go out and tie this ball game.
So 1st and 10, decent position at the 36. It's been big plays on the ground for Vineland. Nice 25-yard seam pass for Vineland. But Egg Harbor's, the last 3 scores have just been long bombs. As we come into this one, Vineland average of giving up 10 yards an attempt. And I think that number's just growing today.
So 1st and 10 from the 36. Russo moves a man in motion. He's looking to pass. He's scrambling away, has to throw this one into the dirt as he was being chased down by the EHC defense.
Well, you know, not a great gaining yards play, but another real smart play by Russo, throwing it at the feet as they try to flood screen, fake, and come back to the short side, but the defense was ready for it.
2nd and 10 now for Vineland, under 8 minutes to go here in regulation. Fighting Clan trailing 28-21.
Egg Harbor really tight in this.
Russo looking to pass again. He's firing. Incomplete. Intended for James Hitchens Jr. Third and 10 here for Vineland. Russo looking to pass. He's being chased down, and he's going to be brought down by number 52, Darrell Caesar. Beware the Ides of March.
Boy, and they marched him straight backwards on that. It just came through untouched, which when you see a linebacker number, you get it. But that was a down lineman. He's got to be accounted for. So a breakdown in the blocking up front on that one. It's going to kill this drive. And in a 7-point game with 7:17, Vineland will kick it away and ask their defense one more time.
Good snap. Greif gets this one away. And Vineland's special teams unit is down there to make almost an instant stop there, so little to no return for EHT.
Long snapping tonight, Danny Russo gets down there and makes the tackle as 3 Vinelanders corral him. Starting at the 45, Egg Harbor. Vineland needs to get this football back as we're under 7 minutes to go.
Right here to Cherry Moon, can we keep a round of applause for the best student section in South Jersey? Give it up for the Fly.
So Rando lines up under center. He hands this one off. Good stop there by the Vineland defense. That's number 34, Leon Ellis on the carry.
Gain of 3. 2nd and 7 from the
A 3-yard pickup for EHT. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
You can find the flock at all on the home.
Well, this is Egg Harbor's just going to want to run this thing, get positive yards, get some first downs, limit the time left for Vineland. Even if they were to give it back to Vineland, it'll allow them a possession and not Vineland another. Kind of like what the Philadelphia Eagles do, grind out that 8-minute drive, and they're going to try to force Stillwell on the ground here.
2nd and 7 here for EHT. Rando under center. He hands this one off. And again, positive yards here for EHT. Ellis on the carry there as well. He picks up 5. It's going to be 3rd and about 2.
We are at 5.5 minutes in the 4th quarter. Last year's 34-0 Egg Harbor. Vineland down just a score, but they need to stop. Rando runs it, though, and picks up the first down.
Gain of 4 for the first down.
Everybody at home knows Rich and I are huge Phillies fans. I've been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you any
Listen.
updates other than the game is over.
All right. So I know I taped long enough. I'm trying to make it. I thought I had about 8% chance of making it home without hearing anything. I'm planning my escape route, and I think I'm going to hum to myself with my fingers in my ear. I don't care. I've been waiting to watch a home playoff game for over a decade.
Under 5 minutes to go here for this ball game. EHT under center hands this one off.
And that's what you need, a tackle for no gain. Yeah, I've not looked at my phone. My cousin Bruce, now that he heard that, he watches all our games. Bruce Scarpa, he'll be hitting me up. I'm not looking at the phone. I'm not talking to my wife. I'm putting Howard Stern on the radio because I know he doesn't care about sports. I'm going to go in the house, not look at the TV, turn it off, put it back on where I got to hit cable with the volume down. I'm going to hit channel 2, and then I'm going to get to my DVR. I'm thinking I'm a 50-50 shot to make it now. I didn't think it could be this close. So 2nd and 10. Vineland with 4:05 to go. They need to make a stop here. Got to get this ball back without another first down. Vineland has all their timeouts.
Rando is under center again.
Belly. And Belly
That's
works big to the 30, 20, 10.
We got a flag late here towards our side of the field.
Well, I think that was encroachment on the field by the sideline. The first time's a warning. I don't think that's going to be taking this run off the board. It's probably going to be a sideline warning because there were no players there. except for those on the sideline a little overexcited. So that'll be a first sideline warning, I believe.
And they mark the runner down just shy of the end zone. It's be first and goal from the 1.
I was hoping there was a player there that maybe cussed or said something, but no. So first and goal at the 2-yard line. Boy, that belly kills people. You over pursue, and that's one thing we've done as a defense. We get up the field, and it worked early. This time they belly back underneath.
And Vineland makes a clutch stop there.
Rando stopped by Russo.
Some QB on QB crime.
Well, we talked about the nice running Russo's had, but special teams and on defense, he's in on a lot of these tackles also. Looks like Russo may have stolen the quarterback's mouthpiece as they send him towards the side. It's a good way to get somebody out of there. Just grab that mouthpiece. You're coming with me. So as they mill about, that's Egg Harbor in no hurry with 2:55 and running.
Michael Weideman checked in for EHT. Wasn't sure if they were going to go a little funky Wildcat there for a second or not, but Rando is back in. About 2.5 minutes to go here in regulation. Rando fakes the handoff. He's carrying it around the outside. Vineland's defense comes up big again and stops EHT from crossing the goal line. It's 3rd and goal.
2 stops from short inside. Xavion Diaz finishes that one up. We're at 2 minutes and 10 seconds on this 3rd and goal from the 1.
Now under 2 minutes to go here as EHT just taking their time as the clock continues to roll.
First sound, what do you think?
And Vineland's going to get caught offside once again. That is Bennett on the penalty.
So they gain 4 inches on the play. But the clock will start on the snap. Oh no, it's running now, so they picked up 25 seconds. So they're going to be in no hurry again, and they'll get this thing down to 1:05. Looks like Vineland's going to take a timeout. So I'm like, why do you get that offsides for that? Sure enough, you get another 25 seconds before you have to snap it with the clock running. So Vineland's going to use the timeout. Not quite done yet, but a valiant effort by Vineland. This is a team you faced last year, beat you 34-0, and you're tied up going back and forth, and it's 28-21 with under 1.5 minutes to go. So big improvement, but not quite big enough. The block punt really did them in. Egg Harbor didn't have to earn that one with that short field, and they took advantage, not on the first try, but the second. So ready to go here, 1:26 on the clock. Rando in the end zone for the score, and that's going to ice it here as Egg Harbor withstands Vineland's early surge to go up 34-21 with the extra point looming.
And the crosstown rivals tonight, Rich. Millville beats Ocean City 41-7.
Seems like Millville's getting back on track a little bit. Not that their off track wasn't fantastic. Don't get me wrong with the competition they played. They've just been a little flat once in a while, but They'll get it together when it matters most. You know, transition to a new coach and whatnot.
So EHT lining up for the extra point here. Ball snapped, spotted, kick is up, and it is more than good. Minute and 22 remaining here in regulation. EHT leading 35-21.
I think once I hit the car, I'm up to like a 85% chance when I hit the car. Just don't film me with my fingers in my ears running out. Well, I'm glad I was here for this one, though. Great football game tonight. Didn't end the way we want, but Vineland battled. It was right there. Very competitive game, and just costly special teams block kick sets up that last score. And 3 deep balls, yeah, in a row. The last one defended the best, but still not good enough. You know, and you had Russo fighting for an interception to keep Vineland alive, making a tackle on the punt out of the deep end zone.
And I think, Rich, we're going to witness at least my very first high school student section storm the field here tonight.
Well, that'll be less people for me to get through in a crowd. Nothing like storming the field when you held on to barely beat a team you beat 34-0 last year, but hey.
Whatever floats your boat. And this one is almost onside kicked for what it was worth there, but Vineland recovers it easily. And they'll set up shop close to midfield, down 14.
With 2 timeouts.
And about 82 seconds on the clock.
Similar to last week when you look at the final score and you're like, but this is where you're going to throw it as far as you can, hope to get it, and if not, so be it, because you got to get in the end zone and get an onside kick. You know, the probabilities of that are about what I started my night of not hearing the Philly score, so it can happen.
Township, come on out.
Russo lines up in shotgun.
I got you, Miss Sanchez.
He takes the snap, looking to pass. He's scrambling. We have a flag on the field. Russo firing deep, and it's intercepted by EHT. Run up back to about the 45-yard line. We'll see what the flag is on the play. It happened before the pass was thrown.
So if it's a Vineland foul, the play will stand. And I believe EHT will just go to victory formation. Oh, and the foul is on Egg Harbor and a procedure on Vineland. They're going to offset. Let me go back, Jack. Do it again.
There's a flag on the play.
Minute and 10 left on the clock here.
Offsetting penalties, which means replay down.
So 1st and 10, once again from the 46, 1:10 on the clock. It's almost like you say, just drop Russo straight back, but the last time, that was how the last drive ended. One of them linemen getting through free.
Russo in shotgun. He takes the snap. He's looking to pass. He's firing deep to Hitchens, and it's intercepted. No flag so far on this one. It's being run back by Rando. More QB on QB crime.
Yeah, you got to keep running your patterns. Can't pull up when you think it's not close enough to you. Takes you out of the play, makes for an easy interception on the long ball on the Hail Mary-esque attempt by the Fighting Clan. 56 seconds to go. Egg Harbor is going to hold on and pull this one off. Well, at halftime, while we stepped away, we had the EHT band come on the field. They talked about 300 teams at MetLife or whatever stadium it was, and they won. And I was like, all right, but how many divisions? But they went out there and put on a show. Probably the most entertaining band we've seen. Talented, good, and also that little thing with the cheerleaders with the brass swinging around. So a nice night here in Egg Harbor for Vineland. It's close, but no cigar.
Vineland back at home one last time in the regular season. Next week for homecoming, it will be a Saturday game. Unfortunately, won't be there again, Rich, as wedding season continues on for me. I'll be officiating a wedding down in Cape May County.
Well, enjoy it while you can, because when you get to be my age, that don't happen for a long time.
Rando takes the knee here.
So Egg Harbor battled back and withstood a little bit of an early Vineland, wouldn't call it dominance, but Vineland lead. You know, like Vineland held pace in this game, and Egg Harbor found their way back in to take it over. And this will be the last time they're going to have to snap it, as Pennsauken going into last week undefeated. So they're going to be a tough test at home, but you never know. You know, I don't mean you never know if you win, but you never know. You get that win, since they're undefeated, there's a ton of points you may be able to squeak in a playoff, but this is a 9 or 10 last year team that we're knocking on the door, and the future is bright here for Vineland. Just not enough tonight to overcome the EHT Eagles.
So the Eagles fly on to victory as they get a 35-21 win over the Fighting Clan here at home. Student section storming the field, and just an unfortunate break there for Vineland. You know, a couple missed opportunities, you know, throughout that second half as it was tied going into halftime. You felt like Vineland really had control of this ball game, but they were unable to get the job done as they get set for one final home game next week. It'll be homecoming, a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday against Pennsauken, Coach Tucker's old stomping grounds as well, so a little additional meaning to the homecoming matchup there. But if you're Vineland in this game, there's just a few things you got to clean up, and I think, you know, you're well on your way to feeling good going into that matchup against Pennsauken.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things you did better than you have done. I mean, Russo's just taken over with these big running plays that he has. But going into the next one, we'll be back home. We'll try to break that schneid at home that we've been on. I'll figure out if T. Love's coming back with me or who I'm going to have. I'll have a special guest with me next week. And we'll see. I'll see you at the consolation game.
So,
oh, and wish me luck on getting out of here without hearing
best
the
of
score.
luck to Rich getting home.
Thank you.
Final score 35-21 here from EHT. Rich Scarpa, Kyle Bennett on the broadcast. Big thank you to Gia and Doug on the production side of things tonight. Everybody have a great weekend. Go Phillies, go Eagles, and we'll see you next week.